Hey, how's it going, guys? I normally don't make these kind of videos, but I decided that I wanted to share with you all what I typically like to run for all of our elite deep dives. They're a lot of fun to build, a lot of fun to play, and we just play Hazard 5 each and every week, so this is just what I find to be the best and most rewarding and best bang for your buck, quite honestly, when it comes to each and every build I'm going to be showing with you all. This first build I'm going to be sharing with you all is going to be my CRSPR build. It's going to be a 1-3-2-3-1 with the sticky fuel overclock. Guys, this is one of my favorite builds to go to as far as elite deep dives go. We do all these dives blind, so I have no idea what I'm getting into in the first place. So as far as CC goes, I want to have the maximum amount that I can get. So honestly, between the sticky flames that you get in tier 2, in tier 3 you also get the stickiness where like the bugs are slowed basically, as well as some extra fuel. I'm not gonna lie, this is just a whole lot of fun to use. You as a driller are going to be responsible for taking care of most of the swarmers as well as the large grunt waves that are going to be attacking you all. So what better way to do it than to just kind of lay down a line of flames. That way they're all damaged when they walk through them, and that way your team can just clean them up. One of the disadvantages of this build is obviously going to be the lack of direct damage that you're going to have toward your enemies. Again, this is not going to be a big deal unless you're really wanting to do a lot of damage to like Praetorians or maybe some of the robots. It's just not going to be able to stack up quite as well as maybe like a face melter build, which I also have, but I'm not going to show in this video. It's kind of just a meme build, as well as like maybe some other kind of like high flow type builds that is going to bring out a lot of direct damage. I mean, this is just not the build to do it on, so avoid trying to use these on like Praetorians or any sort of large target. Other than that, I haven't really had too much of an issue as far as ammo goes. Just keep in mind you don't have to be holding M1 as much. You just have to be able to spray certain areas on the ground and you should be just fine. Next is my Cryo Cannon build. It's going to be a 3-1-1-2-2 with a tuned cooler overclock. This is a fantastic build for survivability. If you couple this up with Vampire, you're just going to have unlimited health throughout the rest of the game. The goal of this build is to make sure that things get frozen and frozen fast, as well as doing some extra damage in between. With this build, you'll really have no problems taking out large amounts of grunt waves. Sometimes what I've done is freeze a bunch of grunts, lay my C4, walk a little ways, and then blow it up. It's kind of a fun way of doing it, but in all honesty, you will be probably finishing most of the kills with your pickaxe. Another great reason to use this build is that you will be freezing dreadnoughts with these. I've used them against all 3 of the dreadnoughts and they work fantastic. As long as you can get to the dreadnought fast, you will freeze him. The one thing I will say about disadvantages for this build is swarmers. All the squishies are going to have an easier time getting to you just because you're not going to instantly kill them with this Cryo Cannon. I think that's kind of goes without saying, but I figured I'd just say it anyway. On top of the bonus for survivability, this thing doesn't have any problem with ammo efficiency. You'll be just fine as far as ammo goes. This build is also great against Mactera. You're going to be able to freeze these guys right out of the air if they come in a wave, and you'll have no trouble dropping them. Again, I'm going to highly recommend this build. It's probably one of the best overall builds that I have in my repertoire, so give it a try. Last but certainly not least is going to be the corrosive Sludge Pump. The build I'm going to be running for this is a 3-2-2-2-2 with a volatile impact mixture overclock. This particular build is going to be focused on charge shots. There's really no other gun like this in the game that can do damage in a burst form, kind of like this one, and be able to be spread throughout a group of enemies. Honestly, why not utilize the one thing that makes this gun so unique? With the air sensitive compound as well as the atomizer nozzle for tier 1 and 2, These are just going to make your charge shots that much better, increasing the puddle width as well as increasing the charge shot fragments. With the tier 5 acid as well as the volatile impact mixture, we're going to be doing that much more damage on our charge shots. What I have done is swapped the tier 2 with 1 and 2. Tier 2 1 is really good if you want to do some damage in the pool, while tier 2 2 is really good if you want to disperse that damage to individual targets. Again, it's kind of a preference thing, you guys can experiment it yourself, but for now we're going to use tier 2 2 for this build. Again, similar to the Cryo Cannon, one of the disadvantages for this particular build is going to be how to control swarmers or squishies in general. You're not really going to have a good time when it comes to dealing with a bunch of swarmers that are going to be swamping you guys. You can swap that tier 2 to 1 like I said earlier, so you can basically do damage in a pool effect rather than the individual targets. You know, honestly the best way to deal with this is with your secondary, which is going to be your wave cooker. I'm going to make a separate video on what I use for my secondaries as well, so stay tuned for that. The Sludge Pump just works so well with the wave cooker. I mean, in my opinion, it's one of the best synergies in the game. So if you want to deal with the swarmers, bring out that wave cooker. Make sure you put a lot of ammo with it, because the wave cooker goes through a ton of ammo quickly, and you should be just fine. Just a few final thoughts before I close. I'll say that I use the plasma charger for about 90% of my builds for Driller. I mean, he's going to have that tier 5 thin containment field, and there's just no other way to play Driller than to use that. I mean, I do like the wave cooker, like I said earlier, but I'm going to be making a whole nother video on all the secondaries that I use, as well as some of the other things I like to adjust with my Driller gameplay. Again, these builds are just what I use for my elite deep dives. I'm by no way saying that these are the best or most efficient or highest damage ways of making these builds. I just think they're fun. They've worked for me over the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 months I've been consistently playing the elite deep dives, and I just thought I would want to share them with y'all. If you guys did like this video, please leave a like and comment down below whether you want to see more of these kind of videos from me. And if you haven't seen any of the Elite Deep Dive videos, I highly recommend you watching them. I'll leave a link to my boy Brom. His channel is going to be in the description below. He is a fantastic gunner, probably one of the best gunners I've ever played with. You could definitely learn a lot from his gameplay as well. Alright y'all, thank you for watching again. Have a good day.